What's up, RotoBallers? Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to week 1 of the NFL season. I'm Jorden Hill, and today I'm going to be helping you set those fantasy lineups in preparation for Sunday and Monday's games as we take a look at RotoBaller's consensus staff rankings for this week. Diving right in, you can see our top 12 quarterback rankings right here, and I want to start by highlighting Trevor Lawrence coming in at number 8. Lawrence should get off to a nice start in his third professional campaign, as the Jags will travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. The Colts were middle of the pack against fantasy QBs last season, but they no longer have Stephon Gilmore, and this secondary is questionable at best. Even if Calvin Ridley takes a few weeks to get up to game speed, Lawrence still has plenty of weapons on this offense to get the job done and should be considered a must start. Moving up 2 spots, you might think that Joe Burrow seems a little bit low on this list. Don't worry, if you have Burrow, you're obviously starting him, but maybe temper your expectations a little bit heading into week 1. Burrow, of course, is coming off of a calf strain that he suffered during training camp, and he's facing a Browns defense that was really stingy against the pass last season. Burrow himself failed to eclipse 20 fantasy points in either of his 2 matchups against Cleveland. Again, don't try to get too cute with it and search for other options. Burrow's locked into your lineup, just don't expect a massive spike week against a tough divisional opponent. Finally, I want to talk about Justin Herbert coming in at number 4. Herbert gets to take on the Miami Dolphins at home, and the Dolphins were a bottom 5 defense against fantasy quarterbacks last season. In addition, this Chargers offense might come out like it has something to prove under new OC Kellen Moore. This contest has the highest projected point total of any game this weekend, so you're going to want pieces in this matchup, and as you can see, we're pretty high on Tua Tagovailoa as well. Moving over to running backs, I want to start right at number 12 with Aaron Jones, who gets a lovely matchup against the Chicago Bears. The Bears allowed over 28 PPR fantasy points per game to opposing running backs last season, and as a divisional opponent, if you look at Jones' track record, he's had some pretty big games against Chicago in the past. Now, the Bears are favored to win this one, and that's probably a good thing for Jones' fantasy outlook, as he'll remain on the field for most passing situations. Next, I actually want to talk about another Jaguar, as we have Travis Etienne coming in here at number 10. Although I already mentioned the Colts secondary as a weakness, they also weren't particularly good against the run in 2022. With Anthony Richardson making his first start as a rookie, it wouldn't be shocking to see the Jags get out to an early lead and rely on the running game to close things out. I have to talk about our number 4, Bijan Robinson, who will be making his regular season debut, and it should be a great one. The Falcons will host the Panthers in Atlanta, and although the Panthers were middle of the pack against fantasy running backs last season, we know the identity of this Atlanta offense. They want to take pressure off of Desmond Ridder and run the football. Much like the Colts, the Panthers have a rookie quarterback getting his first start in Bryce Young, so we like the Falcons' chances of making a statement in this game, and that starts with showing off their shiny new toy in Robinson. Taking a look at our wide receiver rankings, we have Chris Olave coming in at number 12. Olave should get off to a hot start in year 2 against the Tennessee Titans at home. The Titans allowed over 40 PPR fantasy points per game to opposing wide receivers last season, and keep in mind that the Saints will be without Alvin Kamara for the first 3 games of 2023, and rookie Kendre Miller is looking to be on the wrong side of questionable for this one. This means they're going to have to rely on Jamal Williams to be almost a workhorse running back against a tough Tennessee run defense, so I expect Derek Carr and Olave to try to get it done through the air. You might notice that Devontae Adams is somewhat low in our week 1 rankings, coming in at number 10. Adams will have his work cut out for him in his first contest with Jimmy Garoppolo under center as the Raiders head to Denver to take on the Broncos. The Broncos allowed the 3rd fewest fantasy points to opposing wide receivers in 2022. Now, Adams should still see a healthy target share. You got to keep him locked into your lineup, but just don't be surprised if he gets off to a little bit of a slow start. In a similar vein, let's quickly take a look at Stephon Diggs, who finds himself at just number 7 for week 1. Now, this should be a fun divisional matchup for Monday Night Football, but the Jets were incredible against wide receivers last season, and Diggs in particular got shut down by New York twice. On a more positive note, on the other side of the football, we have Garrett Wilson cracking the top 5 as he'll face a Bills defense that gave up a lot of wide receiver production in 2022. Last but not least, our tight end rankings feature Tyler Higbee at number 10, who gets a dream matchup against the Seattle Seahawks defense that has bled fantasy points to the tight end position in each of the past 2 seasons. With this news of Cooper Kupp officially being rolled out, Higbee is pretty likely to lead the Rams in targets in week 1. At number 3, we have Darren Waller. Just want to give a quick vote of confidence to Waller in his first game as a Giant. He'll face a Cowboys defense that was really good at limiting fantasy tight ends last season, But look, we've heard about it all summer. Waller's going to be the go to guy for Daniel Jones. We saw it in the preseason as well. So as long as he stays healthy, he's a locked and loaded tight end one. To recap, our quarterback rankings have a lot of obvious names, but look for Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, and Trevor Lawrence to start off with a bang in stellar Week 1 matchups. At running back, of course, you have guys like Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler at the top, but we expect Bijan Robinson, Travis Etienne, and Aaron Jones to be studs for your fantasy team to open the season. Some of the biggest names at wide receiver are a little bit lower in our Week 1 rankings than you might expect due to difficult matchups, but you should have extreme confidence deploying Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson as wide receiver ones. And at tight end, it's never fun searching for a starter outside of the top 3 or 4 names, but Tyler Higbee should be the man against Seattle in the absence of Cooper Kupp. That's going to do it for our Week 1 rankings. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like on the video and subscribe to RotoBaller for all the fantasy advice you need all season long to help you win big in 2023. Thanks again for tuning in, and best of luck in your Week 1 fantasy matchups.